for listening to this presentation.
Okay, many of you are excited to be crafters. How will you contribute to your realm? What are the details on how you make things? We're going to ask this and similar questions in the Q&A, so I hope you have questions for that, and be ready to post them now as we get ready to talk to Mark.
Sorry, 3. Okay, so I'll be ending in theory sometime around 3:30.
Guys!
So once again, you guys know the drill.
Were we talking?
You ready? Awesome. So first let me apologize if during this presentation I may be doing that a little. I was working on the lease all during lunch and kind of scarfed down a sub in a tub pretty quickly. So excuse me if I, again, do that. So, BSC, what do you guys think? Yay or nay? Before we get to the questions. Come on, guys. Yay, nay. That's all you got to say. Cool. So obviously we put the room in slow mode. So I'm going to answer some questions that came up while you guys then get to ask more questions. Oh, actually, here's a question right away. Will there be decay in crafting? Yeah, absolutely. Most items will decay. They have to decay. If we don't have item decay, then it's going to be a heck of a lot harder for our crafters to make a living. And as you guys know from listening to the presentation, since we have a crafter class and you're not going out and farming NPCs, farming PvE quests, if you don't have that, you have to be able to make money by actually selling your items, and not, for example, losing money on your items and making money in, your main, or in many cases, your character, since crafting is generally just a skill. So yes, there will be item decay, and there will be, a very, very strong need for your services as a crafter. First question from Wild. Will different boxes or different realms have different looking boxes? Yes. That is part of the reason we're doing this. There's still going to be boxes, but they are going to look different. The whole point of this system is to conserve resources. I mean, it's to be cool as well, but to conserve the amount of time and energy and art assets that we have to do to make this all happen. So by going with a Vox concept, we make it easier for us to change the Vox's looks, to change a little bit how, obviously, the magical effects that will come out of the Voxes for different realms. We know that it is supposed to be something you care about. We're building it that way. So yes, Vikings will look one way, TDDs will look another, Arthurians will look like, Arthurians. Will the emphasis on music Vox instrument take away at any level from song-based classes? The answer is no. Can I can I craft a cat? What kind of cat? Um, Drexen, how will currency initially enter the economy? Well, that's a great question because it all starts from there, doesn't it? Well, we're not going to talk a lot about this. I think if you looked at our stretch goal for the bounty system, it says underneath the picture that the reward is a certain amount of GI, gold ingots. So that'll give you an idea about what we're thinking about. Question from Abriva. Without PvE, what will be the character's questing style or main source of XP? Well, if you're referring to crafters, of course, it will be from, harvesting, mining, crafting. For the combatants, the non-crafters, we're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow. To confirm what Soul Drake said about there will be no skill progression or leveling through PvE, yeah, that's spot on, man. Will you have to kill at times some NPCs? Of course. We need guards. We need animals to produce skins. We need other things in the world to make it seem more alive. So, there will be NPCs, but you cannot level your skills up by killing them. A question from Big Bass Show about will you be able to customize the look? Absolutely. The look of the items we know can be quite important to people. How far we can go with that will depend on, frankly, what we do here between now and at launch. We want them to have a certain degree of uniqueness depending on the crafter. How far, again, I don't want to make any promises. Thesis. Since the amount you can craft is limited, what do crafters do with their excess time? Well, that's part of the whole playing the crafter. You'll be operating a shop, we hope. You'll be mining, you'll be harvesting. You'll be, hopefully, a lot of you will be running out with the combatants to help them in RVR. You'll be building new towns. So don't think of crafters as simply the guys sitting at the Vox making a sword. Crafting is a class. We're going to have a lot of things for this class to do during their evenings, afternoon, morning within the game. A question from Double Naginata. Are you planning on consumables to be crafted items? Yes, if we have consumables, they will be crafted items. Will there be a lot of consumables? As of now, no plans to have a lot of consumables. We certainly do not want to get into the same situation as other games where you had to have your pots before you go out into combat. We don't want players to feel that, boy oh boy, if they aren't spending a lot of time making and using these things, that they won't have any chance in RVR. So could there be some consumables? Absolutely. There will be some for RPing. Will there be all that useful, such as mana pots? We don't expect that to be a big part of this game. From Drace LD, what sort of combat effectiveness will crafters have? Just siege and traps? Any other fighting abilities planned? Certainly, we want our crafters to be able to participate in RVR. They will not be the folks you want on the front line taking on the incoming hordes of raiders. They will die. They'll die a lot if they do that. But can they be very helpful? Absolutely. How far we can go with this will depend on the time. We certainly want them to be there with the combatants. We certainly want them to be helpful, but you will not be able to take a crafter out and expect to go one-on-one with an opposing combatant. You will lose. If crafting is a class, do they have a specific name for their class other than generic crafter? Right now, generic crafter. We've only talked about one class so far, so is that something that has to be true, that everyone is called a crafter? No, of course not. But that's where we are right now. Question about the Vox Look evolving with age and amount of power. Absolutely. We want our crafters to take pride in their Voxes. We want them to be willing to spend some money on them. We want them to spend some time on them. Taiwas, if multiple crafters work together, can they do something with a spell book and the soul of a mage? Great question. Actually, I hadn't thought about that. Worth considering. Seer Gaming, if you can make 80% of that stuff really happen, I'll increase my pledge. Sorry about that. That'd be great. We'd love to see, of course, our people, increase pledges. It's never a bad thing. But I'm not going to promise that. I'm not going to, as people have heard me say here on Massively, in updates, I'm not jumping on the hype train and promising you we're going to be able to do all this. This is what we want to do. Will it be as awesome as it could be? I don't know. Will it be as lousy as it could be? God, I hope not. The only thing I'll tell you is we are trying, just like our other systems, to do something interesting, to do something different, to really spend our efforts wisely to create something really cool. And hopefully our crafters will feel that way. Belmont, this is an ongoing question and an important one for us now and forever. How will crafters late to the game be useful compared to high-level crafters? I think the simple answer to that is, frankly, we hope the high-level crafters are spending their time making a lot of high-level items. This is unlike any other system, or no, let me take that back. This is unlike almost every other system, that I'm aware of, certainly, where the items really do take time, where you can't be fed resources and just craft. So unlike other games where, if you need an item from your alt or a friend's alt or a friend's main, all you have to do is give them a couple resources and bang, the item is done. In this game, if you're a crafter, and you certainly should be doing this as a high-level crafter, is busy making high-level items, he won't be able to make your low-level items. And that's where we want our new, crafters to come in, and hopefully continue to come in, making sure that we have enough people making new items for new players. McDeath, can one account have a dedicated crafter and another RVR focused? Well, of course. Why wouldn't you be able to? Crafter is just a class, and just like any other game or the other games I've done and the games I've talked, and this game certainly that I've talked about during the Kickstarter, it's your realm choice that locks you. If you on one server want to play a Viking and then decide, well, I want to also play something else, as long as it's a Viking, that's great. But no, you won't be able to play, of course, multiple realms on the same server for the same account, but you certainly can have a crafter and any other class from that same realm on that same server. A number of questions about crafters being capable of participating in combat. I'll answer this again, but then the last time for today's presentation. Crafters will be viable in RVR, and I'm saying RVR as opposed to PvP on purpose. The idea in RVR is that they can contribute. They can help build the walls or reinforce the walls. They can help make traps. They can help do other things as well. But don't expect them, of course, siege equipment, but don't expect them to go toe-to-toe with a combatant and survive. They will not. Question regarding caravans. Can they take damage? Can contents be destroyed?